And then let me get us on the book. Yes, I know. There we go. There we go. This is always such a process.
You need a copy of Chris's jersey up there.
Hmm?
You need a copy of Chris's jersey on your wall.
Chris, who?
George, Candy's husband.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he should autograph my shit.
I was going to say, you should ask her to send you a jersey.
I think I shall.
Nice.
Miss, what Facebook name are you going under now?
Melitzi Martinez.
Oh, yeah, I found you. Boom.
That's still my maiden name.
It was I was about to say, when'd you switch? Okay, look at you. Back to the maiden name. All right, people. We are live. Hold on. Let me get my movie started. Oh, son of a... How Stella got her groove back. Boom. There we go. All right, y'all. It's about party time. Let me get a little something to... It was in this scene I realized Angela can't really dance. Has all rhythm in the motherfucker. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of In the Zone Podcast. It's your man, B. Foster's back in the building. Brian Foster's glad to see you. I am super excited about this episode. I know I say that about a lot of episodes, but I mean it. This is a very exciting episode for me. I've got a dear friend on with me that I haven't seen in ages. She's finally graced me with her presence. I couldn't be more excited. But today we're going to break, and then I got two of my faves of all times. That goes without saying. But today we are going to break, it's noon, it's Saturday. You know what I do every Saturday. We go back in time and we break down a classic film. We're going to debate if this is classic, but it's notable for a lot of reasons. We're going to talk about how Stella got our groove back. Let me introduce my guest hostesses for the evening. First and foremost, or afternoon rather, you've seen her on plenty of these. You know she's going to have some stellar opinions. She probably hasn't seen this movie until she saw it yesterday, knowing her ass. My girl, Dr. Angela Bell. What's going on, lady?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Just happy to be here.
Had you seen this movie before? You watched it?
Come on now. It came out in 1998 now. Come on, give me a little credit. So it was good to go back and look at it again. But I just want to do a quick little public service announcement because
Please do.
Delilah, she died of cancer in this movie. So I just want to make the statement that Black women are dying from breast cancer at younger ages and they get it in more aggressive forms. So just make sure if you're 40 and you haven't gotten your mammogram, go get it. And if you have a family history of breast cancer, you should be talking to your primary care doctor and maybe getting screened earlier. And everyone should be getting colonoscopies at age 45 now instead of 50. And women get your pap smears every 3 years. If you're under 30, every 3 years, and over, it's every 3 to 5 years. So that's it.
Go on, Doc. Get him right. And I got my girl back in the building. She's only talked here about us in the education space. Now you're about to see a whole different side of her. The side I know and love. My girl Mitz. What's going on, Mitz?
Hi, it's nice to meet you, ladies. I'm excited to be here.
Cool. And then our very special guest co-hostess. Me and this young lady go back further than I care to admit. We've known each other since we were kids, and we're just past kids now. But good to see her. Glad she got time to join. Ms. Lori Edmonds, what's happening, lady?
What's going on, Brian? Thank you so much for having me. It's nice to meet everybody, and this is fun. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, let's get into it. First, let me say this. Angela threw a quick public service announcement out there. Let me say this as well. The world's in a crazy place. The relationship between our black and brown people and the people that are supposed to be serving and protecting us are on trial, figuratively and literally. So I hope if you're joining us today, this hour and 15, however long we go, can be a little form of self-care, a little time, space for you to disconnect, put down the news, turn off CNN, just kind of have an enjoyable time with fam. And we all fam with the family today. So get a drink, relax yourself, sit back, enjoy the show. That being said, How Stella Got Her Groove Back comes out 1998. Filmed on a budget of $20 million. Makes 39 mil. It's almost double. Success by any measure. Oh, and I forgot to mention this in my opening. I'm sorry when I introduced Lori. Lori has a tiny scene in this, a scene or two in this movie. She's really the star. They just didn't know it at the time. So I'm interested in her take on any behind the scenes stuff she might have known or experienced or lived, and we'll dive into that. So by any measure, this movie was a success. It wasn't a critically acclaimed movie. Most folks gave it an middle, thumbs up, thumbs down, middle of the road. It's a little bit better in stretches than I remembered. I honestly have not seen this movie probably since it came out, and I went to the movies to see it. Maybe I've seen bits and pieces of it here on cable, over the years, but I've never sat down and watched it all the way through since I probably saw it in the movie theater. It gets a little long in the tooth towards the middle. There are some stretches that have some dead air, but overall, a little bit better than I remembered. So, let me ask this before we get into the dissertation on the movie. We're all in '88. We were younger, clearly. We're all a little older now. Does this movie hit different as a for real adult as it did probably as a younger adult, a teenager back in the day? Angela?
Absolutely. I'm turning 40 in August. So yeah, it hit a lot differently. And I'm single as well. So it's like, I wouldn't go 20 years younger.
Would you not? Is that totally off the table?
That's totally off the table. I can't see any scenario where I would go 20 years. 10? Yeah, maybe. Depends, on the guy. The right guy, okay. Yeah.
So 20-year-old is just couldn't see it.
Not at
Come
all.
on, Winston was mature, educated.
I gave him points for that because he was going to medical school, and that gave him some okay, you got to have some level of maturity that may not be the average, maybe 20-something year old, but very specific. No. I'm going to give it a hard no.
All right, Mitz, what about you?
Definitely. I just turned 45, so I feel like
I didn't say people had to get their ages here now. I didn't say all that.
All right.
Shit.
I don't mind saying it. I was married when this movie came out, so I actually didn't watch it at that time. But then a few years later, I was divorced and I did see it just on cable. So even at that time, I think it was something that definitely gave a whole different perspective on where I was at life. And watching it at this age, it also was interesting. It definitely gave me some things to think about. But I agree with Angela. I couldn't see myself being with a 20-year-old. That's just too big of an age difference, I think.
25-year-old.
I still think no.
30-year-old.
That's about as young as you could possibly get me to go, I think. And that's still a stretch.
Major cultural differences there now. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, if this movie tells the tale, there was something there too. So I don't know.
Absolutely true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lori?
Uh-oh, I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
Lori, hell yeah, bring it to me.
As a matter of fact, no.
Was that him? Who's that back there shirtless in the background? All right, never mind.
Oh, no. No, it's I had a situation where, I met and fell in love with somebody much younger, and I wasn't expecting it. It was completely out of the clear blue. He actually approached me, and I was very against the idea at first, because of the age. We weren't 20. It was more like 10. 9. It was 9. But at first you feel really uncomfortable about something like that. You just, how Angela was in the film, it's like off limits, you just don't like that. But when the person, is mature and has their, they have their stuff together, and with time they kind of wear on you, and it's sort of like a why not moment. It's life is short, and you're like, you know what? He's got a lot of the qualities I love. He's got a lot of the things I like in a man.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up giving the guy a chance, and it was great. So for me, I don't have an issue with a younger guy or dating someone younger. So
what I will say,
I definitely related to the film as an adult.
I will say that there are definitely younger men who have the maturity and the actual just life experience to be able to handle dating a woman that's older than them and has, more experience. I've met them, so having said that, I believe that it's possible, if anything, this movie kind of opened a door, I think, at that time to kind of make it more, acceptable for an older woman to feel comfortable in dating a younger man. And even just like when you think about the dynamic of her being the breadwinner in the family, with him, like she would need to support his, goals and what he was trying to do. I don't think there's a problem with that. If you're with someone that is working toward goals and, building a family and a life together, like, I don't think it should only be men who can be expected to provide for a woman and support for a household.
Yeah, I agree. And then there's older men that are acting like you might think a 20-year-old might act.
Right.
Here we go.
Hey, it's the
I'm
truth.
just gonna sip my wine.
I'm not saying it's not out there. So let me ask this. Have you ever dated anyone younger than yourself, Ashley?
Yes. Yeah.
How much younger?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
So you holding out. Do tell.
So just recently I've tried that. And I mean, I don't know, it's so new, but the brother is educated, got himself together, just done so many things I've never done, that I can learn from him. So I'm open to learning, we'll see.
My boyfriend is 9 years younger than me. So
You said what?
My boyfriend is 9 years younger than
Currently.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at all you Stellas in this month. See, I didn't even know.
This is the perfect panel.
Look at the 6 Spidey senses telling me. So 9 years currently, right now.
Yeah. I mean, but he's in his 30s. I'm in my 40s.
Right.
Like we're grown-ups. We're adults, He's very together, he does a lot of really great things in the community. Like he's a good dude, and I don't feel like our age difference has really been anything to mention.
Yeah, that hits a little different when you're, in your mid 40s and he's in his mid 30s. That don't seem quite as disparate. But when you're not desperate, I didn't mean that's disparate. But when you're, as in this case, you're talking about a 40-year-old and a 20-year-old.
Right. Big
That's
difference.
a huge gap, right? Like, no matter how mature he is, he's fresh out of college. He don't even have a job yet. Not, he's still figuring out his way. Forget have a job. He's still trying to figure out what it is exactly he wants to do. Like she mentions in the movie, he's never been anywhere. He's never even had his heart broken. He's never even had a real relationship. So, there might be a certain level of, I don't know, like she's got to kind of look out for him, right? Like, I know you love me and I got feelings for you too, but 10 years from now, is this going to be the same when you're in a completely different space? I'm still pretty much going to be in the same space. but you'll be in a completely different space.
Yeah.
Is it fair for me to even let you be in this relationship?
Mm-hmm.
We can dive into that though. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the movie. Let's get into the movie. Comes out, I said, in 88. So you said you saw it in
98.
98. I'm sorry, 98. You said you saw it in the movies, Angela?
I don't think I saw it. I don't know where I saw it, but I saw it around the time it first came out, or maybe like right when I was going into college. I graduated in 99 from high school. So I saw it there. It was somewhere around in there.
Okay. Yeah. So how many times have you seen it? Who were you with? Your original thoughts about it?
So the original thoughts about it was just like, oh, Taye Diggs. That's kind of about it, you know? And then I've seen it probably, I don't know, maybe two, 3 times total. This is the first time I've really sat down and watched it completely through. You know, it'll come on TV or something like that. Mm-hmm. I never quite remember who I was with the first time. I have no clue who I saw it with, but I never saw it on a date or anything like that. But yeah, so this was good to watch it again as a Stella, you know, Stella aged person, and really put myself in her shoes and see some of her errors that she made, some of the things that he did that were ridiculous, and you know, it was interesting.
Wait, what did he do that was ridiculous outside of the meeting the parents thing?
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, all right.
That was absurd. But
that
was
ill-advised. That was
terrible.
I get it.
Awful. Yeah.
All right. Fair. Okay, we're on the same page there. Mm-hmm. It's 98, and you say you don't see this in the movies, you see it later, but do you remember your first impressions? Who you with?
Yeah, like I said, I was married at the time, and it's just, I think my movie dates were usually in our family room on the big TV and, you know, stuff we'd watch together. So I'm fairly certain it wasn't a movie my husband wanted to watch at that time. So I saw it later, probably on cable, you know, watching TV on my own. And Angela Bassett was flawless in this movie.
I forgot how bad she was in this movie.
I forgot. When I rewatched, I'm like, man, she is bad. Look at her. Beautiful throughout the whole movie. So I was just fascinated watching her. And of course, Taye Diggs looked wonderful. Just very good. So just the visuals and, you know, being on the island and, you know, in the sun, it was just really visually fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
The storyline, like I said, it brought me back to, I feel like, how much things have changed today and how pretty common it is to see older women, like cougardom is everywhere. And I feel like when that movie was out, it wasn't really like that, you know? So things have definitely changed in our culture and over time. So I do remember seeing it for the first time, and it gave me some things to think about.
Like your ex-husband. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Laura, you have the most unique perspective on this that I've ever had anybody on the show, because you actually were like part of it. So when did you actually like see the finished product? What did you think? What were your reactions?
Well, I was just going to say, going back to actually being in the film and, you know, having the honor and the privilege of being in a scene with Taye and with Angela and meeting them was pretty amazing. I was really young. I mean, you know, I was so much was happening, and so on a set like that, so much is happening all around you at one time. So you're focused on what you're supposed to be doing, as they are too. But I just remember that moment when we walked behind Taye and Angela, and you know, we had eye contact. He's everything. I mean, you know, even then I was like, oh my God, you know, he's definitely, you know, he was handsome then, he's handsome now. Angela is amazing. I mean, not just, she's an amazing actress. She has so much presence.
Yes.
But I saw her most recently, I think maybe just before the pandemic. So a couple of years ago, I saw her in person with her family, and it was at a premiere. And she's still fabulous. You know what I mean? So.
Did she remember you?
We briefly, I mean, we were in passing, and it was sort of like I think I remember you, you look familiar. And, you know, when that's the case, you just kind of wave politely, right, acknowledge the person anyway. But yeah, I mean, just, that was my first time obviously seeing it, was being in it and a part of it. And I just love that it's still running. I love that it's still a part of conversation even today. I just, every year somebody calls me and they're like, I just saw Stella, it just came on, whatever network, and they're excited about it. So that's always fun.
No, it's funny. So it is, it runs on TV here and there, and it's obviously a staple on certain like TNT and TBS. Every now and again I catch it, and it's always funny. Even if I'm walking out the door, if it's anywhere near the part where I'm like, oh wait, I gotta wait till I see my girl. Oh, I gotta see my girl part. So it's funny. It comes out, and I'm married or about to be probably somewhere in there. Either just got married or just about to get married. And I go to see it with the ex, and we sit down, and this part comes on, right? And Tay is on the screen, and I could feel her kind of, moisten up a little bit. I felt the moisture, all right, and I was like, and sometimes I'm like, all right, now, chill, and then sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna let you have it, cause brother looking good, and this is one that I was like, all right, that's a good looking brother. I ain't gonna trip. Go ahead and fiend out for a little bit.
You get so much credit for saying that. I love when a man can admit that.
I mean, listen, I watched this morning for this show, and I went and got a good workout in it. And I'm like,
okay, motivation.
It's not going to outdo me.
It also makes you want to go visit Jamaica too, doesn't it? I was like, I need to take a trip to Jamaica.
And I'm not a Jamaica fan.
I'm checking on some tickets.
Yeah. Wait.
What you do? I had the time of my life on these excursions, jumping off cliffs and just looking at rivers and hiking and swimming with the dolphin. It was a great trip.
I've been to Jamaica like 4 times. I haven't been impressed yet.
Yeah, go to the Blue Hole. Man, we got to talk offline.
Yeah, we have to talk about that. Now, was it the scenery of Jamaica that made you think now you want to go, or was it the scenery of Tay Diggs? You're like, let me see if there's a Tay Diggs until down there in Jamaica. Nobody's denying this. You said both and. Yeah, so I check it out. And like I was really actually a really big Waiting to Excel fan, so I was kind of semi excited about this, and it didn't quite live up to Waiting, but I enjoyed it. I read a lot of Terry McMillan's books, like me and the wife would talk about them and stuff. So I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good enough, But like I said, it's nothing I've revisited in a long time, and just now having these 20 years or whatever in between, it was a totally different watch, right? Like, 'cause I remember thinking back then, I'm like, because I ain't gonna say how old I was, but I'm closer to his age and her age at that time, and I'm like, I don't think I can mess with no 40-year-old. Like, she looking good and everything, but that's when she leave the island, well, catch your next visit maybe. No matter how dope she is, and now I'm like, brother came up. You came up, young man. Good for you. Good for you. And I've forgotten how good Whoopi, and I'm not a big Whoopi fan either. But I had forgotten how good she was in this movie.
Yeah.
But we'll circle back to that. All right. So, most rewatchable scenes. What are the scenes that when you see these or you think of Stella, you're like, all right, if I could fast forward to these 5 scenes or whatever, these are the ones I would check out. Mitz, I'm gonna start with you.
The scene where they meet at the party. I loved what she was wearing. It was beautiful. That was just like a good scene to feel the like tension between them and the attraction, when they're just gonna start getting to know each other. So it was just a really pretty scene.
Okay. The party.
Yeah.
I like when
she was wearing the yellow nightie.
Oh, she looked good. I like when the titties came out at the end. It was.
I did not remember that part.
I distinctly remember that part.
It was more awkward, that scene. Like them dancing in the beginning seemed kind of awkward. I don't know, more than I remember. Even Tay.
Yeah, she was. She totally was, because she was like, didn't want to let herself really like him. Like he was kind of. But you're right, Brian. She really can't dance.
So hold on, Lori.
I'm like, what's going on here?
I'm gonna ask, is there even really music playing during this, or are they?
I was gonna say you've got to give them a break, because on a lot of sets you don't have the music playing, so you're just the they'll say action and then you just sort of fake it and you just flow.
Oh,
Gotcha.
cool.
In some cases they do play the music, but a lot of times they have to sync that later in post. So you're not dancing to actual music.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Now it makes sense.
Yes.
Each production is different and technology changes all the time. But back then, I don't
Mhm.
remember, I wasn't in that scene. I don't know how they shot that, but my guess is that they probably didn't have music playing at the time. So
Ah,
That's what I assumed. I assumed they're like, this is the kind of music that's playing, but you don't actually hear any music because they got mics on. They got to catch the dialogue. So I'm giving. I was like, nah, she was too good in Tina Turner not to be able to dance.
I was gonna say, because I'm
True.
pretty sure Angela has rhythm, so
Yeah.
they probably didn't have the music on.
All right, Angela, which scenes hit you?
So that first scene where she saw Tay Diggs at breakfast, how about melted when he smiled?
Yeah.
When I think of this movie, I think about that. And from that point on, it's like if a guy has a great smile, it's like, oh.
True.
Yeah, so that scene. I would also say the hospital scene was that was such a great scene to me for so many reasons with Whoopi and Angela Bassett. It showed their sisterhood, and you kind of got to see their friendship over the years. And it took me back to being at an HBCU where, like, me and my girlfriends, we had nicknames for all the people that we saw. There was an even guy that was really handsome, and he had a shirt one day that said Jamaica, and we called him Jamaica for all the rest of our college years, but they were talking about kind of little stuff like that. And, it was just have fun, but then it was something serious going on. But I really appreciated that scene, they were really like family.
Yeah.
And then the other scene about when Winston tried to pay for dinner, that scene was very interesting to me because he was right about everything he said in that scene. Do you want me to be a boy? Do you want me to be a man? I'm trying to step up. And now, and she was a poor communicator. He's trying to pay, and she's like, no. And then she runs off by how you won't take out the trash. Like, what are you talking about right now?
What's funny, and I had that in my scenes too, but what's funny about that scene, and exactly what you're saying is, my wife still tells me this same shit today about why I did, like, if I'm taking out the trash. I was like, girl, it don't matter that he's 20, he could be 50. That's gonna be the same shit. So just chill out.
Yeah. So that scene was notable because she really needed to have checked herself. Later on, she apologized, but that was just, she was dealing with a bunch of other stuff and it didn't have anything to do with him, I thought, in that scene.
No, wait, hold on. Wasn't the scene directly after that when she apologized when she got in the shower with him?
Yes, it was.
So her apology is not really noted in my heart because she just saw the cute little ass and was like, I'm fucking around, I'm tripping.
I did think about that. I did think about that as well, but that was also another great scene that I was going to mention.
That was a very good scene. That was one of mine too.
Yes,
I
and then
definitely feel like.
Wait, the scene or like just the
down her eye, like the man.
When last time y'all cried because of some good love? Angela, why your whole face changed? What the fuck? Angela like, I ain't never cried. That's the buzz.
Yeah, I haven't had a singular tear. No.
Yeah, that's the glory, the Denzel. Right. Hit him with a single tear. Nobody gonna answer that, huh? Nobody gonna answer that. Boy, never mind. That's all right. Fine. Whatever. Go on. Keep going.
Every time you cried, what was your last singular tear?
Every time I make love to my wife, I shed.
Great answer.
Oh, here we
Every
go.
time.
Great answer.
Well, you know what? I'm a crybaby, so I cry all the time. Like a sad commercial will have me like, oh my God. I'll see a cute puppy video. I'll be like, oh my God, he's adorable. So, I mean, could have been like just yesterday for all I know.
Oh, no, but I think that is a good scene, Angela. I had it in my list too because it really breaks down the dichotomy of the age differences, right? Mm-hmm. Like she wants this and he's saying that and he's saying, I understand. Like, yeah, you playing video games. I'm 20. You knew this when you jumped in this. Now, I think it would have been different had he came there and he was like in school, right? So like you can deal with some of the quote unquote immaturity going to see booty call or whatever. If he's also getting up and doing something every day. I think the fact that he was just kind of around the crib as much of a support as he was, and he cleaned up her workshop or whatever. I think him being there and not, being active every day in something productive, quote unquote, probably weighed on her a little bit more on her. And then like you add on the age differences and I should have gone. I want to see this movie. I want to go see this movie, and all these other little age differences. I think that probably added on to it. But I thought that was a great combo.
It was. And, but then again, she wasn't aware that he actually was being productive. He was redesigning her space. He was working. She just didn't realize what he was doing in the background. Right. And you know what? That is, there are people like that who they're just working in the background and they're doing things, but communication is not there. They're not telling you that they're doing these things or working towards something, and that was what that scene was about. How you said the communication was not good. She didn't communicate things. He was trying to surprise her, but that's where that conversation needed to happen, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Then she tried to fit it all into that, oh, well, I'm trying to pay and you really can't afford this. Like, don't fit that.
Why is that even necessary, right? Like, I'm trying to pay. You can't afford it. Damn, so that what?
Yeah. And he's like, what did he say? If it'll make you feel any better, you can leave the tip. Like, okay.
But wait, where'd he storm out and go? It wasn't no Ubers and nothing back there.
And those little dollars he pulled out, I don't know, that was actually gonna cover everything.
My man had $30.
He needed to leave the tip.
He was sitting on the hood of the car when she got back, like. She was finishing that glass of wine. She wasn't moving. You have any other ones?
No, those are I'll leave some. I had some others, but I'll leave it there.
Cool. Lori, what you got? Favorite scenes?
Oh man, I mean, everything you guys have mentioned. I love seeing Tay interact with her son, Quincy, the character Quincy in the film. I thought their connection was really sweet. The fact that he was, interested and that building that relationship was important to him. I thought that was really nice. I mean, the shower scene is, come on, I mean, how can you not love that one?
They had a nice little booty. I get it to him. He had a nice little booty.
Yeah, he trained well for that, for sure. You could tell.
Squats for days.
The single tear, I mean, that's such great acting. You know what I mean? And she nailed it. So all of that. Whoopi was hilarious. I mean, I almost forgot how funny she was in the film. When I watched it again, I was literally like, she's hilarious. That scene in the hospital was hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, a lot of my favorite quotes are her from her, actually. I've forgotten how funny she was. I got a couple. So we've already touched on the first meet. I'll give you this. So I say this. There are rare occasions where a brother comes on screen and I'm like, bow down. That's a cool ass, or that's a good looking ass, or that's a sexy ass brother. I can say it. I'm fine with it. Whatever. Billy D. Williams, Lady Sings the Blues. I was like, damn, Billy D. I see why my mama was crazy. All right, mama, that made sense. Denzel and Mo Better Blues. I was like, all right, Denzel, all right, go on, man. I can't even argue with you no more. Go on, man. And Tay is one of the few. I was like, yeah, that's a good looking man. I got nothing. So that first me, he eating the little fruits and it's all focused on his. I'm like, oh mother, let me go whiten my teeth. But I really did like that scene because it really did kind of establish more than how sexy Tay Diggs is. That he had a level of maturity and game about himself that, because I've got a damn near 20-year-old son. He'll be 20 in a couple of months. And no way is he that smooth. No way. No way in hell. So the fact that they even had him, with this dialogue that showed that he kind of had a little bit of, swag to him, and you could see why she might have, outside of his physical, entertained it. I liked how they established that. You all touched on the hospital scene. I mean, just really some solid acting. The best acting in the whole movie, clearly. Right? Both of them crushed that scene.
Yeah.
And it does establish, like you guys said, the level of their friendship, how far they go back, all this history, and just like the true love for each other. And when like Whoopi asked for that hit, and then she kind of, she kind of fought, then she's like, I'm gonna get some sleep, and then like it's just just super super well done. It's actually probably my favorite scene in the movie because of how well it's acted. I don't know how y'all didn't mention this. The barbecue scene. The barbecue scene.
I'll mention that later.
Talk about that one.
The barbecue scene.
Listen, let me tell you what. That felt like the most Puerto Rican scene in the movie. I was upset.
Now, but me, we always had this conversation.
I pictured my sister coming out from the backyard and coming right up to the car. I know you're in there. Come out. I could just see my sister doing that whole thing and my whole family being there wanting to know who I'm with. Like, who are you with? That was a total Puerto Rican scene right there.
But I told you,
more in common.
Puerto Ricans are so close. I'm
just telling you,
No, but that scene is hilarious on several levels. First of all, Regina King shouts out.
Like her. I forgot she was in the movie even.
I have forgotten. Brenda. She'll always be Brenda from 227 to me, but yeah. Brenda kills it as always. She comes out, she does her thing. The fact that the ex is there adds a whole nother layer to her. The whole family coming up, well, y'all gonna block the limo? Why is everybody coming out? But you exactly right. That's exactly what my family would do. Yeah. Everybody be at the car, like, come on out. We done heard about this young boy. Let's see all about it. And then just the conversations they're having around it, like the conversations he's having with her sister. Her sister, by the way, I don't know if Angela, her sister named Angela in the movie. I don't know if she ever acted again, but I can see why I hated her in this movie. But hate her, just hating. The conversation that he has with the ex-husband. The son kind of watching the interactions and really he's like, all right, mom really likes this. I mean, I knew she liked him, but mom really likes this dude. Yeah. So I'm gonna have this conversation with him later. The whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I liked that the relationship between her and her ex-husband was not contentious. So that to me was great. That was something different. You don't always see that. So I appreciated that too.
Well, I also thought about like how he rolled with the punches when he ended up around her whole family, which was very different from the way she reacted when he took her. Like, he intentionally wanted her to meet his family. He wanted his parents to meet her. And so her reaction was way different, but he went with it when he was presented with, I have to meet your whole family, So I thought that was interesting.
Go ahead, Laura.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to comment to that. I actually didn't have a problem with the way he introduced her to his family.
Me either.
I did.
When a man wants you to meet his family, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, go with it. And to your point, he was cool meeting her family on the spot, and he just sort of went with it and had a great time. And I just felt like she could have done the same. It was an honor for her to meet his family. So I don't know why she acted that way.
From my perspective, I would like to get a heads up, and especially given she's the same age as his mom, and it would have been nice to have a heads up. Because like she said, maybe she would have dressed differently or, just a heads up would have been great. Now she could have, once she got there, tried to go with it. And not that, I mean, she didn't have to act that way once she got there, but I think he should have told her because he knew that she was still a little kind of on the fence, even about them dating, So a heads up would have made all the difference in the world,
I can agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think a heads up would have been ideal, but I mean, if you're there, just have it.
She tried to roll with it though. I don't think she tried to help come, set the table. Like, she wasn't standoffish at all. She was just taken aback.
And early though, right? Didn't they leave early? Because
they left. Yeah, well, after the mom said you should be fucking ashamed of yourself and what you want with my baby,
right?
And that's where the warning would have come into place because maybe you would have been in a headspace to think out that conversation and have a response. But she was ambushed and didn't have time to prep. So now that's coming at her, and she doesn't know how to respond, and she already is a little uneasy and uncomfortable with the relationship as it is, and she's saying everything she's already thinking and feeling. And if this was my son, her son's what, 11, so in 9 years, you know, she's got a 20-year-old, so she felt it, and she just didn't have time to prep herself to have that conversation. And I think that's probably where she was more, you know, like taken aback and kind of put out of sorts. But mom wasn't playing no games, and I felt that.
Yeah.
Mom's like, that's not a baby. That's my baby.
Right.
I was like, facts.
Exactly.
Because if, like I said, I've got I have a 20-year-old in a couple of months, and if he brought home somebody, and shit, my wife is 40. So if he brought home somebody the same age as my wife, I'm looking at her like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? What do I say?
Would you say it like that lady was like, you desperate? Like, what's going on?
I don't think I think I play it like the father played it. I'm going to be hospitable. I'm going to have, we'll have these conversations. And I probably see how far it plays out, right? Like, in my head, I'm like, it'll come to its natural conclusion. No reason for me to jump in. Because in my situation, and I'm getting all into my personal history now, I don't really care. So when I was a teenager, me and my ex-wife were dating, and her mother thought that we were too serious, too soon, too young, and forbid me from seeing her. And all that did was put fuel to our fire, right? Like, oh, now we're definitely going to be together. Nobody going to tell us we can't be together. Nobody's going to separate us, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I already loved him. We, all that teenage love or whatever, but now we were. So, her mother didn't officially know we were together until the day we graduated from college. And we dated that whole, like, from my junior in high school till that time. Her mother had no clue. And, we finally said, all right, let's stop the charade or whatever. But had we not had that extra juice, we might have not even made it that far. We might have fizzled out before that had happened. So knowing that, I probably wouldn't,
sit back a little bit.
Yeah, I just sit back and I let it have its natural progression. Now, if it's 6 months later, and they flying back and forth and seeing each other, now I got to have a conversation with her. And be like, listen, maybe you're serious, maybe you're not, but I need to know what's happening with, with you and my son. You are in a position of power here in a certain regard. And I got to know where your headspace is at.
Yeah, I'm re-emphasizing the hard no on dating somebody 20. You have a 20-year-old son? Hard no. No.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hook you up. He's real mature. He's been working out.
And you know what? I have 2 daughters, 22 and 18. I would feel that way if my 22-year-old brought a 40-year-old man home, or, someone. And because it'd be like, there's such a huge difference in where your lives are. Like, where is the connection? What is the connection?
Besides sex.
Besides, exactly. So.
Right. So yeah, it's a unique space to be in. So I hear all of you all. But I felt the mama. Now mama bear and her cub. Like, what you doing with my son?
Yeah.
But the dad, on the other hand, was kind of into it. I don't know
what. Yes. I caught it.
Yeah.
That's daddy's though, right? Daddy was like, I'd hit.
He gave him a pat on the back when he first saw her.
Yeah. I agree though. 20 years is too much, at that age. If you're 20 and then someone's 20 years older, that's way too much. So uncomfortable situation for sure.
Interesting scene. All right, let's jump to most memorable quotes. So what lines from the movie stood out to you and were like, that's hilarious, or that's prophetic, or wow, okay, that's whatever jumped out to you. Angela, I know you got notes. Go ahead, let's go. Start with you.
Mine were just kind of silly at this one, but when they first got there, and Angela was like, "I didn't come all the way down here to be no slut," and Whoopi was like, "I did, a big old hoe slut if I can." He was just so funny the whole time. And then when let's see what happened. I think this was with the sisters.
Oh, wait a minute, real quick, Angela. Let me that scene where she said that. Let me just say this right now.
Okay.
Whoopi is wrong. She can't be trying to throw Buddy on fucking. You cannot be trying to throw Buddy on your girl. That's just bogus.
No. I don't care what sport he played 20 years ago.
Buddy didn't look like he played shit.
Wrong. It's like bringing sand to the beach, right? Like you in Jamaica, and that's what we got. Come on.
And I'm supposed to be a shotgun. I'm supposed to be a ride or die for Buddy. Nah, not this.
No. And then let's see, the Angela, that character Angela, asked, "How low, or how could you stoop so low?" And then Regina King's character was like, "I want to know how low you did, girl. You came back glowing and shit." I love Regina. She had so many good lines, actually.
She did.
And then the last one, she was talking about Angela Bassett's character. Stella was talking about how she was just, kind of fed up with him being so immature. And she was like, "Man, I even found Cocoa Puffs in bed." And she was like, "Oh, Cocoa Puffs in bed, young and innovative." Those are my few little quotes.
Young and innovative.
Yeah.
What can you do with Cocoa Puffs?
Right. I know.
Lori, in any particular quotes, lines that move you?
Oh, I was trying to think of an exact quote. I mean, the main one, life is but a dream.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. So
Mhm.
I would say that one touched me for sure. And just, with what we've been through recently in all of 2020, just realizing how short life is, and that, you don't necessarily need to date someone 20 years younger, but, be open to good people and good vibes and good energy wherever, from wherever that may come. If the person's younger or of a different background, ethnicity, whatever, just flow, because life is short, and, it's but a dream. So live your life.
Your career. Yeah.
Yeah. Live your life. So that one, I like that one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
Why are you smiling, Brian?
I like that. That's a great perspective. That's dope. Miss, what you got?
I like the whole scene where Quincy took Winston to the side, man to man. And I liked how Winston sat down and, got eye level with him so they could face each other. And that's it. He said, it may not be the exact quote, but he's like, "You're not planning on breaking her heart or anything like that, because then you're going to have to go through me." So I like that, Quincy was like wanting to protect his mom and let this dude know that I'm watching you and how you are with my mother. So, I like that. I like that, what he said to him.
Yeah, when he approached him, it's funny. Quincy, can we have a conversation man to man? He's like,
right.
I don't see any kids here. Like,
right.
It's little moments like that where you see his maturity level, right?
Right.
Like, okay.
I like how he approached that whole conversation.
Yeah.
Agreed. Hell, my 7-year-old just sat me down and had the same conversation about his mama. I was like, "Boy, I'm your daddy. Shut up, move." No, he didn't. I'm kidding. But he would. He would completely kick me out this house if his mama ever wanted. She's like, "I hate your daddy." Good, let's get him out. I ain't ever want him in there.
We don't need him around.
We never needed him. We never needed him, mama. I've been telling you that shit for years. I got a couple of them. This is, one of my favorite scenes also was in I'll say this for another category, but they're in the spa. Mm-hmm. She says, "Look, Angela, just because Kennedy writes, directs, produces, and stars in all 3 acts of your drama, don't fool yourself. Every woman doesn't need that kind of guidance."
Yeah, that was.
Yikes.
Their back and forth was. Woo.
Yeah.
That particular line, I was like, "God damn." I'm gonna say that. Somebody gonna hear that from me one day. Just because. And then she's followed that up with, "Why don't you just induce labor so you can hurry up and have somebody to tell what to do?"
Oh,
yeah.
Angela was throwing haymakers. Mm-hmm. What in the world? This is between her and Whoopi. What in the world would I do with a 20-year-old kid? Fuck him. Love Whoopi.
Yeah.
And here's some more smoothness from Tay. "What are you saying? You'd like to be intimate with me? Are you paying attention?" Ooh, go on, Tay. Are you paying attention?
That was a good one.
What you think I've been doing out here on these past couple days?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Why come you not acting pissed? Why come you not acting pissed? And then followed it up with, "Look at you glowing and shit."
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Oh, and in the hospital, Whoopi was talking about the young lady she had taken the guy from. She
Yeah.
step on her foot and her legs come open. People come tumbling out you ain't seen in years. That had me literally halfway in tears this morning.
Hilarious. Her
Hilarious.
line delivery flawless on that.
Flawless. Another Regina line. I don't care how old he is. If he got you glowing like a nightlight and shit, Stella, I say keep his ass.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Love that. Then when the husband and him are having a conversation, he giving him all the advice. He says, "Did that work for you?" Hell no. Clearly, nigga, because y'all divorced. We know that shit didn't work for you. But some pretty memorable lines in this one I had forgotten about. Like I said, a lot of them coming from Regina and Whoopi, but quality.
Mm-hmm.
Quality. All right. So who would you say, when you think of this movie, and Stella's in the title, so this might be kind of slanted, but who's the most iconic character from this flick? Mitz, when you think of this movie, who's the first person to come to mind?
It's gotta be Stella.
Is it Stella?
It's Stella for me, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tay is right there,
I figured you were going with
right
Tay.
behind her, but I think of her, yeah.
Okay. Lori?
Mm.
You think of yourself? You like me, motherfucker? Me?
Not. Much respect to Angela Bassett and Tay, but I was
First
actually
role, by the way. Just forgot to mention that. This is his first movie role.
Yeah, so I mean, much respect, but I was gonna go with Whoopi in terms of just iconic. I think, to me it would have been Whoopi. I think her role for me was the most iconic. I mean, all three of them were amazing. You know what I mean? You can't take anything away from any of them, but it would be between like Angela, Whoopi, but I'm gonna have to go with Whoopi.
No, that's solid.
Yeah.
That's a solid pick. Angela? All these damn Angela. Angela in the movie. Angela character in the movie. Angela on screen. What?
Right. I would agree with that because she was my favorite character. She was my favorite character in that movie. I loved her in that. And I remembered her in that movie. And I remember that I loved her, but didn't remember as much why until I watched it again. Like, yeah, she was good in that. When I was younger, I might have said Tay. But I'm gonna go. I agree with Lori. Like it's Whoopi, then Angela, right there.
Right neck and neck.
I mean, Whoopi just shows her maturity in that role. Do you know what I mean? She's such a seasoned actor, even at that point.
Yeah.
She stepped into that role, and you could see the experience and the depth of her training and just her acting abilities. Angela's amazing too. Tay's amazing too. But when you're talking about iconic, you kind of got to give that one to Whoopi, in my opinion.
I'm on board.
Well, I agree that Whoopi's acting in that movie was far superior. Like it was wonderful. I meant, I guess, iconic in the sense of what or who Stella represents in our culture, and how at that point, that movie kind of opened up the door for discussions about older women dating younger men. And that's why I felt her character is iconic in the sense that is something that has gone on to further develop in women and our ability to have options in deciding who we want to be with at any age. So
I like that take too.
Yep, that's definitely true.
Ooh, wait, look at this. Y'all got bringing the heat today. I like it. I like it. Let me ask you this spin-off question, and then I answer this one. But let me ask. I'm glad you said that, Mitch, because this is part of, and we're kind of jumping ahead, but it's out here now. What did this movie, if anything, change about the culture? Ghetto ass. Change about the culture, or cultural dynamics. So let me ask this. You said that this kind of really opened a dialogue about older women dating younger men. What about women going on trips and getting their groove back? Is
that too?
Now, it's not the first time, because Eddie Murphy does mention this in Raw about Mr. St. Jock. So we've had a little bit of a preface here. But does this movie really kind of kick off that conversation? Because this did open my eyes. I'm like, oh, so that's what y'all do on girls' trips? That's the shit y'all want, y'all.
Who said that?
It's like the first girls' trip movie.
You said what?
I was saying, is this like the first girls trip movie on a big scale like that? Like the original girls trip? I don't know.
That's a fair question. I can't think of anything
I can't think of.
that prefaced this. I can't think of anything. So
Hmm.
maybe.
Yeah. That was a little bit weird for me though, because when I go on a trip with my girlfriends, it's really a trip with my girlfriends. So like they weren't really together for a whole lot of trip, which was interesting. But it seemed like they were kind of, well, really Whoopi for sure was on this. I'm about to go get some. So you have fun. You can come with me if you want, but I've never gone on a trip like that before. So
I did find that interesting in that, particularly if Tay hadn't gotten his job or whatever, like the rest of that week would have been soaked up by him. So like, when are you
yeah,
seeing your girl? Like, wasn't this kind of supposed to be a
right,
girls trip?
Right.
And I get you don't want to hang out with Buddy.
right.
Totally get it. But yeah, they would.
Angry when he had to go to work. Angry with him. She acted so silly when he got a job. Like, really?
I thought so too. I'm like, he's not supposed to work. He's supposed to turn down work to hang out with you at the beach.
And
I
it's the
thought
first
so.
thing he told her when they met. He was like, "I'm here because I figured I might get a job as a chef or whatever." She
Right.
180 so quick from I don't even want to mess with you to angry high school girl.
Right. She was the immature one in that situation.
Well,
Well, I think that's where her lack of trust was coming in. Like she didn't believe it was
Yeah.
work, and that's where her wall starts to go up because she feels like, can I trust this guy? Is he just saying that because he got what he wanted already and he's trying to blow me off? So I get where her reaction was coming from, but it was very like immature on her part, the way she did react.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Laura?
the same thing that she felt like she thought she was getting played,
Mhm.
which probably had to do with the age thing anyway. Just her whole. But yeah, I agree with what was just said. So that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think, no, that's a good point. And she even acknowledges this later, right? When they go and take the drive in the tracker, which by the way, I always wanted a tracker. Like when I was in college, I'm so glad my mama told me no, because that's the fucking wackest car ever. But at that age, I wanted a tracker so bad. I wanted to drive it down to Freaknik and act a fool. Neither here nor there. She even acknowledges it when they take the drive out in the Jeep or whatever, and she's like, I feel like I got played. She's like, would it have been better if he was 40? She said, at least then I'd have some self-respect about it. Like I got played, and I got played by this 20-year-old kid that I'm kind of digging. Like if they were on the same levels, like this would be fun for a week or a night or whatever, and then he played. I think she'd have been like, all right, whatever. I was gonna dispose of you anyway. But she kind of, like you said, let her guard down.
Yeah.
But nothing about what he was saying seemed like game, right? It's like I get 2 hours off a night. I'm glad. I want to see you. I'm trying to figure it out. It's as opposed to just, I got this job. I don't think I'm gonna be able to see you. It was nice. It was fun. Whatever. I don't know. I thought she could have.
Make a girl go have fun. Like what?
Right. You're with your girlfriend. But to be honest with you, I think part of the reason she actually decided to go to that party was because what were her options? Go to that party with this beautiful 20-year-old or hang out with Buddy, hang out with these. She was like, no, that I'm not doing that. So I think that kind of.
I'm sure there had to be better. There had to be more options than those two. She could have expanded her palette some kind of way, right? You didn't have to those two. I'm sure there was some 45-year-old cat there with a couple of his boys that probably wouldn't have been so bad. I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a big resort.
It was too late. It was that stare at the breakfast table.
Yeah, because it got me. Yeah, I get it.
It was too late.
I get it.
Angela, it got me today. Like,
I did. Yeah. Long lasting effect from the first time I saw it. So
I was like,
yeah.
What's funny about that is, and I'm surprised nobody picked him, so I'm gonna pick him because when I think of this movie, I'm gonna be frank, I think of Tay. Here's why. And I haven't seen this movie in a while, as I said. Generally, when I'm talking about horrible accents in movies, I tend to throw Tay into that conversation. Like, but rewatching, I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't as bad as I remembered.
I didn't think it was either.
I've been harsh on him over these past 20 years. It was better than I remembered. I was like, ooh, that shit's awful. But in the movies, that might have just been my little hate bubbling up. But when I watched it today, I was like, oh, no, that wasn't horrible. So for me, I guess in my head, I guess he's always the one I attach to the movie because I've been kind of shitting on him for the past 20 years. And I have to retract it, Tay. I have to retract my statement. Your accent wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. My bad, brother.
That's beautiful growth.
I'm getting mellow in my old age. I'm telling you. I can admit these things. My bad, brother. And I always let me tell y'all a quick side story about Lori, by the way. No, never mind. You know what? I'm gonna keep that. No, it only made me think about it because of the scooter. Lori had a scooter and let me borrow it once for the summer. And I rode that scooter to the fucking ends of earth. I think I drove that scooter to Chicago and back.
That's why I had so many miles on it, Brian. When I got it back, I couldn't quite figure that out. Okay, now I know.
I was trying to roll the odometer back, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Lost my little list.
Those scooters are fun, by the way. I just have to,
I think I need to get one just to roll around the neighborhood just for fun. I miss that scooter.
Yeah, those were fun times.
Did we need a sequel to this movie?
I don't think so. And I'm a little tainted basically because of, I don't know, the likelihood that maybe it wouldn't have worked out and also because of what really happened in real life. I don't know. I don't think we needed a sequel. I think that was a beautiful ending. Leave it there. Did you guys know that her ex actually did a cameo in that movie when they first got there? He was like, "Welcome to Jamaica, ladies." I'm like, I think that looks like him. And I looked it up and that was him in the movie.
Oh.
Terry McMillan's ex, she had married. This is based on her life.
Oh.
Wait. The light-skinned dude?
The light-skinned guy that was walking up the stairs and said,
Oh,
"Welcome
I
to Jamaica."
remember.
That
And they
was,
started giggling.
yes,
That
that was
was
him.
They were like, "Oh, that's
Was that Terry McMillan's ex? That's
That's
the young dude she got with?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, did you notice?
News to me. I didn't notice that.
Damn it, you supposed to be giving us inside information.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, now that you mention it, I'm reflecting back, and yeah, I didn't notice that at first though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I agree about not needing a sequel. I'm just gonna be content that they ended up together, and we just gonna pretend that they stayed together.
Yeah.
Lori, sequel?
No, I'm gonna have to say no to a sequel. I mean, sequels don't always work out, in general, and I'm with the ladies on this. I think, leave it where it is, leave our dreams and our fantasies where they are. Sequels, tend to mess things up sometimes. You don't always hit it with a sequel. So I think it's good where it is.
Well, shit. We already know how it ended in real life because you just said her ex. So I don't think we need to.
Wait, hold on, Brian. Let me take that back. In case the actors would like a sequel, then sequel.
Yeah.
If they want to bring back a sequel and everybody, Regina and all those guys want to do a sequel, then do it. We would definitely watch it.
Yes.
Because I know
I would be right there.
that's right. Those are jobs for people, and do you? If you do a sequel, we would watch it. So.
She out in Hollywood trying to be motherfucking politically correct.
I gotta watch it.
What you about to say, Mitch? Look like you about to say something.
I mean, I would love to watch anything Angela Bassett or Taye Diggs. So I'm in support.
You watch Taye Diggs' TV show that's on right now?
Actually, no, I don't.
I know you
I
don't.
don't watch TV like that.
Mhm.
I actually didn't know, but I just found out that he has more TV shows than what I ever even knew about. So
Taye Diggs is usually, complete side note, the kiss of death for any television show. He is. Any TV show he's ever been on has either been canceled immediately or goes in the toilet as soon as he gets on it.
maybe that's why I didn't know.
But this TV show, while very WB-ish and like not that great, although I've seen every episode, This one's on his third season, so maybe he's breaking that trend right now. But he had this really good TV show. At least I thought it was good. That I liked. It was what was it called? Daybreak, Break something. So essentially, it was this like Groundhog Day story. He was a cop trying
Oh
to figure
yeah.
out a murder, and every day he woke up back in the same place he was the day before. So he's piecing these things together every day. But it only, and I really enjoyed this show. I hate when TV does it. You get invested in something and it only lasts like 10 episodes, and then they like,
Yeah.
nah, nobody's watching it. We're done. And I'm like, no, I'm watching. Keep
When
making it.
that happens,
At
yes.
least finish at least finish the season.
Yeah.
But he got
Private
on.
Practice was good though. Did you watch that? He was
Who?
really good on Private Practice. That was a TV show too.
Didn't it
I
end like
remember
2
him in
years after he
Private
got on?
Practice. I loved that show.
Yeah, I think that had a good little run though.
It did.
Yeah, until he got on.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
He did come at the end.
oh,
He wasn't in it
did
in the
he?
beginning.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
I'm not making this shit up. I got nothing against Tay. I'm just telling you. If he gets on your TV show, you better start looking for new work. That's all I'm saying. All right, fine. That might have been a little hate. Fine.
Some things.
I'm curious. I'm usually not for sequels. Coming to America being the prime example why, particularly too many years later. But I would have been curious a couple of years, 5 years later, to have seen where they were at. Like, because he's supposed to be going to medical school. Medical school is a shit. And then residency, that's another 8 years, 6 years, whatever it is. So he's not really working for quite some time. Now I don't think she's paying for medical school for him. I'm sure his parents got that covered. They seem to
Yeah.
well. But I'm curious. Like, did they got married? She said yes. How's this going 5 years later, 10 years later? I'm a little curious. I don't know if I need a whole movie. Maybe 30 minutes. Give me a 30-minute webisode. I'm just curious to revisit it. Plus, I'll take Angela in anything at any time, anywhere.
No argument there.
Yep.
Which leads me to my next question. My favorite question of these podcasts. And anybody that's watched me knows what it is. Would this movie be better if Angela Bassett or Denzel Washington was in it? Now, clearly Angela Bassett is in it, so she's eliminated. But if Denzel was in this movie in any way, shape, or form, would it have been a better flick? And if you say yes, what role could he have played? Lori, starting with you.
I mean, I don't think it could have worked because of the age factor, right? I think,
Denzel, same age as Angela, I believe, right?
but that's the point, right? Like Tay needed to be significantly younger.
He could have been Tay.
I don't know if it would have had the same impact with Denzel. I love Denzel, but I don't know if it would have worked in the same way.
No
Now,
space.
now for the sequel, that could be a conversation, if and when. But I don't know. I think Tay was the right person. I think the casting was spot on for this one.
Okay. Now I'm not saying he takes a leading role. He's clearly too old to play Tay. But if he could have replaced any other character,
Okay, I think he could have played the ex-husband.
oh, there we go, Lori. Now we on the same page.
I think he could have definitely played that. Yeah, for sure. For
My
sure.
girl. That's what. Yes, there we go, Angela.
That was gonna be my answer, absolutely. And it would have been such an interesting dynamic. Denzel walks into the barbecue, like, wow. And then maybe the dynamic between him and Tay Diggs in, like, man, because Denzel has that presence. So that would have been an interesting dynamic,
Mitz.
Agreed. It definitely would have changed things up. And it would have definitely changed, I think, the dialogue between Tay Diggs and Denzel. It would have been interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
See, 4-way tie. That's exactly where I would place him. He would be the ex. And so my man that plays the ex, good enough looking dude. He's fine, right? Like,
Yeah.
fine. But if it's Denzel, Tay's whole approach to it got to be a little different, right? It's like, oh,
This is
shit.
your ex?
This cool, good looking dude, and y'all ain't together? I gotta, whoa, okay. Maybe I do these because if you fuck this up, how am I gonna keep her? Right? So,
That's probably why it couldn't have been Denzel, right? Because it would
too
have been
intimidating?
exact.
Too
But
intimidating?
just too close, right? Too close. So why would she leave Denzel? You know what I mean? You know, you look.
He's like, she would have had to be crazy.
Fair question. Fair question.
You know what I mean? I mean, Tay is great, but that wouldn't have really made the movie work, because the whole time you'd be sitting there like, why are we even doing this movie? Like, you should have just stayed with Denzel. You know what I
Go
mean?
back to Denzel right now, girl.
Like, I love you, but damn it, how did you leave this man?
That would have left an opening though for some more backstory, maybe on what happened in that relationship. You know, it does make us kind of look at her a little bit like, what happened? What really happened there? Was there some other deeper issues? They talked about her control issues and stuff like that. Maybe, yeah, maybe that was a bigger issue, or would have been a bigger issue that she had to work on, because he did talk about that, the ex. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure when I'm around my ex and I come in a room and people are like, how did you ever leave this man? What happened here? So, I mean, these things,
they happen.
they happen. Beauty doesn't save a relationship. I'm here to. I'm sorry, my bad. All right, my bad.
That's true.
It is. It's very true.
Right? Are we supposed to comment on that, or should we just not?
I mean, feel free. Anyway, moving along. Hold on, wait, damn it! I keep closing my notes. I'm sorry. I should know these by heart by now, but I got my own little personal notes I need to go back to refer to.
Black is seen.
We still got a couple of things. Is this the best movie any of the stars ever made? Let's start with Angela.
No, because what's love got to do with it? I would say it's her best.
Agreed. Let me ask this. Let's ask this in a different way for Angela, at least. This or Waiting to Exhale?
Oh, Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting to Exhale. Yeah.
Better movie or better performance?
Both.
The stuff she went through in that movie and had to overcome, and her transformation in the movie, coming into her own. Remember I'd say Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah. And that was a much better movie.
Yeah.
Laura, what do you think?
I can't comment on that one.
She said, I abstain from that one. All right.
I'll let Angela answer that one herself. I can't comment on it.
Yeah, I think any movie you win an Academy Award for, not that I put my faith in the Academy all the time, obviously,
right.
But she killed, stop it. She killed that. So I got to remove that one even from the conversation to make this fair. Looking back at it now, because she really carried this movie, where it was an ensemble cast for Waiting to Exhale, and she did a thing in Waiting to Exhale, no doubt. The cigarette flick, and it is trash, and all. I mean, that, you know, no doubt.
Courtroom scene, like all of that.
All of that. There's a gravity to this performance that I didn't really remember because I hadn't seen it in so long. So I'm willing to go out on the lone limb here and say I think this is not as good of a movie as Waiting to Exhale, but a better performance. If only because she's in almost every scene. So it's a difference when you're carrying a movie as opposed to when you're an ensemble. And she might have more individual memorable moments in Waiting, but as a total performance, I think I might have to get us to her. That's just me though. What about Tay? No. Well, let me not say that. Angela, Tay?
I'm going best man still. I don't know. It's just, I gotta go best man. This was, though, he was just stunning. But I'm gonna go best man on this for him. Yeah.
Mitz?
I have to agree with her, or Brown Sugar.
Underrated.
Underrated, I think.
Underrated movie, underrated performance. Agreed.
Yeah, I agree too.
So, but yeah, it was just, he was, like she said, stunning. He just looked amazing in the movie. Like, has looked his best in
Yeah.
this
I was just
movie.
about to ask, this is the best he's ever looked?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We're not having a conversation about any other movie. This is it.
No, this is it.
Is it the
I
tank
couldn't
top?
take my eyes off of him. Every time he was like, I could not stop looking at him.
The skin, the smile.
He glowed.
Yes.
His eyes glowed, his skin glowed, his teeth, his smile. I was like, good
Magic.
Lord. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Like to death.
I can't disagree. The man looked good in the movie. The man did his thing in this movie. Lawyer, am I skipping you for this whole category? You gonna be political?
I don't have his IMDb in front of me, so I don't have the list of all that he's done. But Best Man was really good. Obviously, this one,
He also played in Rent.
I'm staying neutral on a lot of these. Would you say?
He also was in Rent. That was another one.
Never saw Rent.
It was
Oh, I
really
see
good.
that.
He had a small role though, but it was really good. He did Rent on Broadway, and I think that's what he was doing when he got casted for this role. But
I can say that I wasn't a fan of Rent. I can say
Okay.
that pretty firmly. Not. What about you guys?
I
not
liked it.
Did you? Okay.
I never
Yeah,
saw.
I didn't watch it. I didn't see it.
I've never seen Rent.
I
Yeah.
love the music I really love the music. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the play many, many years ago. I don't remember all of it, but I've never watched any of the movies.
It definitely showed his range. You know what I mean?
Yes.
As an actor and as a performer, and that's what you want. You know what I mean? So they're all
Yeah.
good. They're all good.
I love Lori. They're all great. They're all great. I'm honestly gonna go with Brown Sugar.
Okay.
I'm now. Let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase the question. His best movies have been his Best Man. I love the Best Man. Everybody knows this. But if we're talking about just him individually as a performance, Brown Sugar, he got to do more there
Yeah.
Mhm.
than he got to do it, even though he was the main character in the Best Man. Like on rewatches, the more I watch the Best Man, I like him like his character less and less.
He was terrible in that
I
movie.
forget how much of like when I was younger, I didn't catch how much of a scumbag he was, and now
He really was.
But he
the
played it
older I get, the more I'm like, oh, you suck, you're awful. But I relate with him in the Best Man. In Brown Sugar, like holding true to his beliefs and what he wants to do in the business.
True.
Yeah.
Trying to make this relationship work that probably he rushed and it was all superficial for the most part. Having that person in your life that was right there in front of your face that whole time, and kind of was trying not to make it what it is, but love. I like everything about it and their dynamic, and maybe Sanaa brought something out of him in that she didn't in the Best Man because she didn't get a chance to. But I'm partial to him in that movie.
Yeah.
The Wood. I forgot about that. He was also in The Wood.
Yeah, I'm not a big The Wood. I like The Wood. I'm just not a big The Wood fan. I like the scenes when they're kids more than I like the scenes when they're adults.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
I get that.
Yeah, The Wood. What else was he? He's been quite. I mean, he's steady acting. The man's steady.
He's more TV than movies. I haven't seen him in a
He's done a lot of TV, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of TV
Yeah.
because this shit is getting canceled.
No, I think one of the movies, wasn't he in the movie Hollywood's Most Wanted? It was like a comedy. Was it him? It was a comedy with, who's the guy with red hair? He fakes his own kidnapping, and so Tay Diggs has to play like this wannabe gangster and it kidnapped him.
Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy, yes.
I forgot about
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
I forgot about that movie.
That to me was the most awkward Tay Diggs role, because he just, he was playing an actor who was classically trained, who had been hired to act like a gangster.
Oh.
So that was definitely like kind of the most awkward role I've seen him in.
Okay.
But it was still kind of a funny movie.
It's kind of funny.
It was kind of funny.
Guys, was he also in Empire? I'm looking at his IMDb now.
Oh, I didn't watch that show.
I only saw the first season of Empire.
I only saw the first season. I don't recall.
When they cast Chris Rock as the most gangster dude ever coming out of prison, I was like, all right, I can only suspend.
Like, I'm done.
Yeah, I can only suspend disbelief so far, people.
Too many stereotypes in the first 5 minutes of the show, so I was like,
I really like the music though.
Really?
I did too. That first season, they had good music. I don't know about after that though.
He was in 111 episodes of Private Practice, by the way. 111.
Oh,
111.
wow.
What's that? 3 seasons?
Yeah. And he was also in Chicago. I loved the movie Chicago. That was really
Oh,
good.
that's right. Wasn't he the piano player?
I can't even remember what role he had in there.
He was the piano player. I love that movie.
I love that movie too.
I own Chicago and still haven't seen it. Like I got.
Oh my God, you gotta watch it.
Haven't watched it. I'm awful. My musicals. I need to catch up. And he probably was an Empire, Laura. He's probably in the last season. That's probably why I went off.
You said that. I didn't say that. You said that.
Tay, you my man. I'm just playing, kinda. Hold on. Now this is interesting. Whoopi Goldberg. I don't think. Let me preface this by saying this. I don't think this is the best movie anybody I'm about to name has ever been in.
Right.
But this was a fucking stab. This is a pretty solid performance.
It was brilliant, perfectly executed. She was so natural. That comedic timing on point. Like she was just, I loved her character in this.
Yeah, definitely.
I got to go Color Purple. I think that was her first movie too. So I got to go Color Purple on that.
I'll be honest, and I've said this before on this podcast. I only saw The Color Purple once, and I was probably like 15. So I have no recollection of the purple.
There you go. You got your next podcast.
Yep.
Is it wrong? I have no
desire to watch it.
Desire to revisit it.
I don't wanna.
I know I should, but I'm good. What about Ghost?
I was just about to say, yeah.
I loved her in that too. She's so talented. Mm-hmm. She won an Academy Award for that role, I believe.
Supporting actress.
Yeah,
I know this is really it's really cheesy, but one of my favorite Whoopi movies is a cheesy 80s movie called Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Very cheesy 80s, but it was kind of a comedy, kind of action comedy movie. It's really good, funny. She was funny in it.
Bell family favorite is Sister Act.
I was wondering when somebody was gonna bring up Sister Act.
I love Sister Act 1 and 2, actually. I love both of them.
Never saw either.
No?
You got some homework to do.
Never saw. Clearly.
Got some catching up to do.
Yeah. At least for seeing Lauryn Hill in Sister Act 2.
Second one.
Fantastic.
Is she on time? Is she on time in the movie?
Yeah, that was before all those issues. So, she was on time for that one. She was on time.
Do we know this for sure? I'm sure. This is all right. I agree. Probably it's got to be between Ghost and it's probably, even though I haven't seen it in however many years. Shit, why does this fly in my head? Color Purple. I can't really speak to The Color Purple, but I would assume most people would pick The Color Purple. But this is low key a really good performance.
It is.
Whoopi.
I wouldn't be mad at you for picking it.
Whoopi. I'm gonna pick Ghost. I actually argue that I don't know why she got supporting actress for Ghost, because she was in the movie more than Demi Moore. But we gonna take the awards we get.
Ooh.
We're gonna take the awards we get. I'm not quite sure why she was supporting. She was in like 3/4 of the movie. But
I wonder if it's strategic the way they submit those things.
I'm sure it is.
Because didn't in Judas and the Black Messiah, man, somebody what's the lead in that? Daniel Kaluuya. Mm-hmm. He was nominated as like best supporting for like the Golden Globes or something like that. That just like, wouldn't he have been best actor?
Who was the lead actor in that movie?
Yeah, how much of the movie do you have to be?
I thought he was the lead actor.
Right, that's what I thought too. So I was confused. And then Daniel Keith was I thought maybe the supporting actor, but I don't know. Maybe it's strategic. Like maybe you have a
Just call that man.
likelihood.
That man's name is not Daniel Keith. What you just call that man?
No, something Keith. Lakeith? No, Lakeith Stanfield? Stanford. Okay. Totally butchered that.
You
Sorry,
just put their names together like they were one person. Actually, I think Lakeith Stanford was the main character in that movie.
Okay.
He was in more of it.
That's true.
By a little bit.
Yeah, that's a tough. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know how much of the movie you got to be in to
Right,
be in.
I don't know either.
I don't understand it. Lori, come on, Miss Hollywood, tell us.
Whoopi?
No, on how much of a movie do you have to be in for either you are a lead actor or a supporting actor? I don't get it.
Oh, I mean, so political.
I like to put her on the spot to see what she gonna do.
Yeah, it so much varies, really,
She's like, I stop asking me these questions.
Enough
bro.
said.
Like I didn't get I always butcher his name.
Mahershala?
Marshall. I always do that. Marshall Ali. He was in like 5 minutes of Moonlight. I don't get how he won anything, to be frank.
Oh yeah.
Love him. But
Yeah, I
he,
do
was,
too.
he was in the movie for 10 minutes. It's like that. I mean, solid performance and everything. But anyway, neither here nor there. Regina King.
I struggle with this.
Really? What's your favorite Regina King movie?
I don't know. I'm probably biased because I love Jerry Maguire and I loved her role in that movie when she was like, "You are a strong, educated, beautiful Black man. Like, get this, what do you want to do?" That scene stands out to me forever. So I guess I'll just pick that. But
Jerry Maguire is a fair choice.
Yes.
good.
And I
I wouldn't pick it, but it's a fair choice.
And that's a tough one for me because I couldn't think back, but she's been in so many good movies. But she really stood out in Jerry Maguire. Like she really was like such a memorable character, So I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
More than fair.
She was in Ray.
Yes, she was great in that too.
Great in Ray. I'm looking at her IMDb right now.
Poetic Justice.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
Friday.
What'd you say, Vince?
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. Yep.
Yeah.
Friday.
This Christmas, she was good in that too.
I secretly, I don't even know if it's a secret to be honest. I love This Christmas. By the way,
really good. I love that movie.
Every Christmas Eve, I watch This Christmas and Bad Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Every Christmas Eve, my 2 Christmas movies.
She was also in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Yeah. Okay.
Sucks, by the way.
I haven't watched that in so long.
When was the last time you saw it?
Oh man,
Forever.
it's so many years I can't even remember.
So it happened to come up on Amazon Prime during, well, clearly we're still in the pandemic, but when like we were locked in. And I was like, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I haven't watched that in forever. I got about through 45 minutes. I was like, ooh.
I can't do it.
That bad?
I don't remember it being this bad.
Wow.
It was bad. It was really, really bad.
If Beale Street Could Talk.
If Beale Street Could Talk.
Enemy
Enemy of the State.
Yeah, Enemy of the State. That was a great movie. I just don't remember her as much in that movie though.
I think my girl outshone her in that one a little bit.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie much. Yeah. Her TV has been killing though. Like Watchmen. If anybody has not seen Watchmen, please watch Watchmen. It was phenomenal.
I haven't seen it.
Ooh, and that ending. Ooh, please watch it.
Okay.
I also saw that Netflix series 7 Seconds.
I have not seen it yet.
It's just really heavy, so.
Yeah,
I think that's why I've been avoiding that one.
Yeah,
because I can't I'm not ready for that right now.
Do that right now. Lori, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, she's directing now too.
Yes.
Oh,
that's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
Good for her.
One Night in Miami, right? I think she was nominated for an award for that as well.
I think an Academy Award, didn't she? Wasn't it an Academy? Maybe it wasn't
That
Academy.
or Golden Globes, one of the two.
Yeah. And I still haven't seen that. I got to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I got. I started it. I haven't finished it yet though. She was in that American Crime TV series or TV show too. That was really good too.
227. She'll always be Brenda to me.
Yeah.
She'll always be Brenda to me. No, if I got to go movie, it's probably If Beale Street Could Talk.
Okay, she won for that.
I really enjoyed her in that.
Yeah.
Really did. But I enjoy it everything.
Yeah, me too. She's phenomenal.
Brenda, 227. Always love you. All right. All right, we've extended that. Let's run through these last couple ones real fast. Soundtrack ranking.
I mean, I don't know what. Do you give it a number? It was just all right. There was a couple
Say
songs.
1 to 10. Let's say 1 to 10.
I'll be honest, I wasn't familiar with a good amount of the music on the soundtrack. So I looked it up. I hadn't actually just heard the soundtrack. It wasn't memorable, I feel like.
Right.
So I don't really know how to rank it. That's just one part of the movie I didn't. And I was saying that I was really invested in the storyline. So, you know, when the soundtrack stands out to me, then I'll notice like what's playing, and you know, that didn't happen for this movie. I was more invested in just the storyline and wasn't really listening to the music in the background.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree. I knew two of the songs. There's a Maxi Priest song on there. I think it was Art of Seduction, and then Ashante Moore and Boys to
One of
Men.
the Pajama Jam I started with.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So those two songs, and that was about it. So I'm giving it. I mean, we're talking to me like Waiting to Exhale was like one of my favorite.
That's almost unfair.
I mean, well, if we're doing rankings, I mean, if that's
okay, do it. You're right.
Like a 2 out of 2, 3. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Tough. 2 out of 3. Okay.
I mean, because you know that was key. What she said. Even listening to or watching the movie, even like the score, you know, other music they played throughout the movie didn't really catch me really so much.
Yeah.
Hold on now. All right. Before I do this, Lori, what you think?
Yes, sir. Jam and Lewis. I mean, you know, they exactly. I mean, I tend to support anything they do. They usually hit. They usually produce hits. I thought the soundtrack was really good. I mean, now, I mean, if you're comparing it to Waiting to Exhale, and we know who that was produced by,
who I forget, who was it produced by?
I don't know, Brian, who produced that? I don't know.
Just want y'all to peep the last name. I'm just gonna leave that there. Anyway.
Why did I agree to do this? But yeah, I mean, you mentioned Waiting to Exhale. That was a phenomenal soundtrack, obviously. But Jam and Lewis, that's all I have to say. I thought it was a good soundtrack. I'll give it, just for that reason, I'm going to give it at least a 9. At least a 9. You can't give Jam and Lewis anything. I mean, me personally, can't give Jam and Lewis less than a 9.
Listen to this though.
What's that?
Stevie Wonder, Wyclef Jean, Janet Jackson, Mary J. Blige, Casey and JoJo, Big Pun and Beanie Man, Boyz II Men and Shantae Moore, Soul to Soul, Diana King, Maxi Priest, Michelle Indiancello. All right, we'll skip that. All right, the last 2 songs we not really, but that's a surprisingly all-star lineup on the soundtrack.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, because I know their music. Like I know their music, but the songs that they wrote for this album, I just don't know those songs, that music of theirs. I wasn't familiar with it.
But you have to look at it too, like the soundtrack is supposed to complement the film, right? You don't want it to overpower the film. You want it to be appropriate for each of the scenes, right? And to fill where it needs to fill and do what it needs to do. In my opinion, I think the soundtrack achieved that. I think it, nothing stood out that made it detract from the film. I thought everything was appropriate and it flowed. Do you know what I'm saying? Plus,
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Plus you had that star lineup and Jam and Lewis behind it. So
Yeah.
from a business perspective, from like a production perspective, I thought it was great because it achieved all of that. And you got some good hits off of there too.
I challenge Angela admits, go back, listen to the whole soundtrack tonight, today, while you're working out, cleaning up, having dinner, whatever you're doing in the background. Listen to the soundtrack again. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
I did say that. Yeah, I do agree that I just watched the movie. I've never actually heard the soundtrack or listened to it. And I did think that that's something I want to do. So challenge accepted.
Yeah, I went through and I actually listened to every single song fully through, but I listened through, scrolled through. Maybe it's one of those you got to go back and listen again. So I could take that challenge. I could do that.
Throw it in the background. We'll talk about it at another point in time.
Okay.
I re-listened to the soundtrack last night before I rewatched the movie, and I agree with Lori. I think it accompanies the scenes that the songs are played in well. And I think the fact that you might not notice them as much as you would other things, is a compliment, right? Like,
yeah,
to not only the movie itself, but the music. Like, the music is supposed to be background to what's happening in the movie, and if the music overpowers the scene, then either there's a problem one way or the other. So I think they kind of mesh well. I was surprised. I was like, it's not a soundtrack I've revisited in a long time, much like the movie. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Speaking of, hold on. We're at Lori's scene. No. So we're about there. I'm gonna just be quiet for a hot second. Let y'all watch it in the background. Down.
Oh,
look at you!
Oh wow, that is so awesome.
Love it.
With the knot. And then she look at it right there with the fake laughing.
Oh.
Girl, I ain't never seen you laugh that hard in real life. That
movie was funny.
Whatever that. What was the fake name of the movie, Laura? Do you remember?
The working title, I don't remember. What the working title.
It'll be on the poster later. Anyway, revisit the soundtrack. I was pleasantly surprised.
All right, you have to look at this too. Like, if you look at something like Black Panther, for example, right? That soundtrack was just banging. But it's also the nature of the film. It's an action movie. It's energy. It's, you know what I mean? So you have that soundtrack to go with it. This was a chill movie. It was a really chill movie. Yeah. So
I can see that perspective.
Yeah.
I think I might have even been comparing to like Love Jones a little bit, like the score and that. I don't know. It just really brought me into the movie, but it was more of an artsy sort of a movie in general. So it's kind of a different take. So I see that point for sure.
You also have to look at budget. We don't know what the film's budget was, but budget's
$3 million. They had a decent budget. We're not gonna put it on.
Oh, did they? Okay, I don't know.
We're not gonna put it on budget. I can't let you have that one.
Well, they definitely chose top-notch performers for Absolutely. The soundtrack. They're all wonderful. Like, the list you read, Brian, was like awesome. Great performers.
Movie poster. Basic. It's just really Angela behind some water.
Angela looking beautiful.
Looking great. Looking fantastic. But there's nothing really to it. It's just her and some water.
Yeah.
I could see my first thought was like, well, this is how Stella got her groove back, and Tay was her groove. So where's he? And then there's another poster that had him in the background, like somewhere in the background. Like, if he's the groove, he should kind of be in there. But then on the other hand, it was a lot of it was her kind of coming into her own. So maybe that would be why they put her on by herself, because it was her career, her love life, and all these different things. I don't know. Kind of a toss up for me.
Maybe they didn't want to give it away, like what exactly it was that helped her get her groove back,
Maybe.
That was the whole build up of the movie. I don't think it was a secret.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That could have also been creative input from Terry McMillan, since she, wrote and she EP'd this too. She was executive producer on this. So since it's based on her book, you know what I mean? Maybe she had creative control in who knows? But maybe that's what she wanted, just to be featured representing herself, kind of a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Fair enough.
See that?
Yeah.
Look at you with the good points. See, this is why I got you here. This is what I'm talking about. All right, so we're out of categories, but I got a couple of loose thoughts before we wrap up. I always got my what I call nitpicks. So Angela's running gear bothered me throughout this whole movie. In the first scene, first of all, the way she runs bothers me. As a runner, she's running too fucking fast. Why are you running so, stop it. You're not running this fast if you're getting miles in. Stop it, Angela. And then in the very first scene, she's got one of those windbreaker jackets, but it's not, it's just kind of flowing and it's open. That's just irritating as hell when you're running. So you either taking that jacket off and tied it around your waist, or you're never wearing it in the first place. They need a running consultant. I was available. They should. That irks me, but that's neither here nor there. She looks amazing in that Jerry Rice jersey. I'm just gonna say, oh my goodness. Out of all the bathing suits and the running gear and the half crop tops, whatever, a woman that can rock a jersey, ladies, I'm telling you right now, y'all want to catch a man, come out looking good in a football jersey or a basketball tank. I'm telling you right now, done. It's a dunny. I already talked about his accent is nearly as bad as I recalled. It's not great, but not as bad as I recalled. Remember when he was in the bathroom before they get down for the first time because he had put the ice on her or whatever, and he's like judging himself? Every man in this world has been in that bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Rethinking something he just fucked up. Guaranteed.
Wow.
I've been in that bathroom too many times to count. I don't even want to talk about it. So ladies, if you're having a moment where your man gets up and abruptly goes to the bathroom and it's been awkward or something, just know he's in there getting his shit together. Getting his shit together. Splashing the water on his face, figuring it out. He'll come out a better man. Let him have a minute. Hold on, wait. Goddamn, my phone just died. Oh, that's why. I already mentioned this. She went from not trying to get with him to like wrapped up 0 to 100. Like one day she was like, he's so young. Blah, blah. Oh, I guess we can't. But we already talked about that, so we ain't gonna go there. I want to talk about this one line. When her and Whoopi go out on the little expedition or whatever, and they go out to the ocean, and Whoopi said, God's here. It's an interesting line placement, and I don't think it's missed upon the original reading, but it comes back around because of a health condition, right? Mm-hmm. So when I wrote this down before the hospital scene, so I'm just checking myself right now. I was like, that's an odd place. Why God's here? What's that even? But then it circles back, and I get it's like, oh, I get it. She's in this natural beauty. She doesn't even know yet that she has cancer. And she feels touched, in this moment. So I was about to call it out as like, that don't even make no sense. But now I'm checking myself like, no, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
She was alluding.
Yes, but she
maybe
didn't
not knowing that she was.
Yeah, without even knowing.
Right.
Loved it. Little added touch to the movie that makes it a little bit better than I think it is in general, but
it definitely gave me pause when I saw that scene too.
You said what?
It gave me pause when I saw that scene.
Yeah. Not till later though. Not till later. I was like, oh, circle back. Mm-hmm. Just this whole movie, particularly the first maybe hour or so, just puts you back in that space of falling in love and how there's nothing better than this part of a relationship. Because it's all down here from here, let's be frank. It ain't shit but work after the first fucking 6 months, maybe a year. But just that feeling, it brought me back to that feeling of, I remember when everything is fresh and new, and particularly if you're separated by any distance for whatever reason, and just longing and that missing and all of that. This isn't a nitpick. This is just me being sentimental for a moment. It took me back there, and it's so hard to reconnect to that emotion sometimes. And this movie did a really good job of making that happen.
That spin she just did right there, that kind of captured that spin she just, yeah.
Because this is right. This is the wonder and the surprise of you don't know what this man is capable of, and he's doing these sweet things for me, and like you don't know. You feel it, but you don't know, and the people just the person you're loving just solidifying that feeling. It's just hard to recapture. So anyway, that's just me being sentimental. Y'all can chime in there or not. I'm just.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I agree.
And a lot of movies don't do it well.
Yeah. I want to know something, Brian. I mean, I love how organized you are with all your questions. This is awesome. But have you ever dated anybody significantly younger, significantly older, or younger?
I was about to say define significantly.
I don't know, more than 10 years.
Older?
Older. Or younger. Wait, your wife is younger, right?
She's 8 years younger.
Okay. So you've done younger. Were you ever Tay?
But she's more mature than me, so let's not even.
We know this.
But were you ever Tay at any point? Did you ever date a much older woman?
I like how you turn this on me. So, once, 15 years.
Okay.
15 years my senior. And it was a real teachable moment. No, wonderful woman. We had an amazing time. Like we connected and we vibed in super unique ways, in ways I've never with anyone else, even my wife, to be frank. It was super unique. But that age gap at the end of the day took its toll, played its role. In somewhat similar ways to this movie, right? Like, I felt like she deserved more than I was able to give, mainly financially at that point. And she was just at a place where I was promoting parties, I was doing this, I had my sports leagues, I'm out and I'm running and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And she was just in a very settled, like, let's do dinner, let's sit around and read books together type, which is cool, right? But it's just not the place I was in. And then she was in a better financial situation than I was at the point in time. Not that I was awful, I could take her out. I wasn't quite in Tay Diggs' position at all, but just different, right? Our wants and needs and where we saw the next 10 years going were completely different. But it taught me, a lot about settling down, and I mean in the moment, and listening and reflecting and hearing somebody else's opinion and differences in opinion and how to communicate. Like her style was very, I'm not going to, all this back yelling and back and forth and cussing each other out. I'm not doing all that. Let's have a real conversation. If you can't have this conversation, I'm leaving the room or you're going to leave the room or you're going to leave a house and we'll circle back when we're in a better place to have a conversation. Taught me a lot.
You communicated better than Stella then.
Not at first. Because I'm cool until I'm not. And then I'm fiery. And then it's just, I'm one of them cats that's like, I don't really care. Like, it's whatever. Like, what do you want? Cool. All right, you want? Cool. Until I really care. And then when I really care and we don't see eye to eye on it, I'm passionate about my position. But I don't always communicate that the best. And she kind of taught me how to relay that better.
So from a guy's perspective, when you watch a movie like Stella, what do you get out of it? Is it believable to you, or do you, what's your takeaway?
Is it believable? I think every individual relationship is different. So in general, is it believable? Probably not. I don't see this working. I don't see a 40-year-old woman and a 20-year-old guy working in the long term. And, to be fair, this is what, 6 months, 5 months? Doesn't seem like it's extremely long. Do they get married and live the rest of their lives together? 9 times out of 10, probably not. But there's always that one. So this relationship might have been the one. And I see some undergirding for potential there, right? But what I took from it even back then when I was a little bit younger, And even now, I guess it's all tied together. It's just how you communicate, your wants, needs, desires, issues, all of that. Excuse me. And I'm trying to be better about that with my friends, much less with my wife. So it's funny. Me and Shane are having this competition this year. We're like, who's gonna get in the first argument, and not with each other, just in general. Like, we're avoiding arguments. Like, I'm not arguing. We're not doing it. Me and Shane getting stupid ass competitions, by the way. So it went from the water challenge to I bet you can't not get an argument before me. So, but even in that vein, it's like, all right, if I can't be as passionate as I normally am, how else do I get my thoughts, my feelings across? And there are more productive ways to do it. And that's what I really gained out of this movie. Like, the main issue with them really wasn't the age so much, but how they communicated. And trying to make that communication piece better just throughout my life. Work, home, friends, all that.
So one more question for you, Brian, because this is something that, like, when
I love this. I never get questioned on my own shit. Let's go.
No, but we have our female perspectives, but when a guy watches a movie like this, I wonder, so men, traditionally date younger, and then this movie, as we commented earlier, kind of normalized or helped normalize women dating younger. But as a guy, and I know you're open and you're cool, down to earth liberal, Brian, and all of that, but how do guys feel about women like Stella's character dating younger Tay Diggs guys? Like, you know what I mean? How do you feel when you have a friend or someone close to you dating someone significantly younger, when it's a woman dating a younger guy? How do other guys perceive that?
That's an interesting question.
Wait, hold on. Well, let's just, you want to just move, just your head, just move it. Oh, sorry.
This is the booty scene. My bad. Booty's in the picture. My bad. Let me not.
Hold that thought, Brian. Just hold that thought.
Well, I was when we're answering this question.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Hold on, go ahead. Let you have it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, if it were just closer. No, but seriously, Brian,
I'm gonna let you have your moment. I get it. I'm gonna let you have your moment.
We as women, we're used to seeing guys date younger women, right? But as men, how do you feel about? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
That's a great shot. Hold on, that's great. Go ahead.
That's a whole lot on screen right there. When you see, older women dating younger guys, how do you guys feel about that?
I don't think we are overly concerned about it, right? Like, when I see it personally, and then I'll speak from a general's man's perspective, and I'll speak from my perspective. From my perspective, I'm like, well, she found what she liked. The older cats probably was on some bullshit, and this dude, this young cat, for whatever reason, is fulfilling the need she has in this particular moment in time in her life. How long that lasts, I don't know, but more power to you, sister. You pulled it, good for you. See, that's always my thing. If you can pull it, you deserve it.
So you're not judging at all. You wouldn't give him any beef when you met him. You wouldn't say any smart comments. None of that.
Oh no, that's bull. No, I'm giving him smart commentary because that's who I am. But but if one of my best, and I'm friendly and have a lot of good female friends. If one of my close female friends, brought a cat home that was 15, 20 years younger, I'm giving them shit, no doubt. But it's not to break them up or out of any sense of hate or whatever. It's just kind of a hazing type of thing. My real conversation is more with her. Like, what are you looking for out of this? Where are you at right now? Where do you see this going? What do you want this to be? And if you in this for some fun and excitement and some young dick, I got you, girl. I get it. But if you see this, like, this is the one thing I did ask, because I did relate to a sister in, when she was like, aren't you nervous about this? And she's like, of course not. That's where I'm at. I'm like, where do you really want this to go? This dude has a lot of growing to do. And are you willing to be in that space with him while he grows for the long term? And if you are, I got your back. But if you haven't thought that through, circle back to me. In general, though, I think most dudes probably are a little judgy, probably are a little suspect of it. But I think that's probably more than likely because they've got ulterior motives with the women they're having these conversations with, and they're mad it's not them. I'll say that.
Okay.
Here it is.
Because most dudes, if ladies don't know this already, that are your friends, and you're like, he would never. Yes, he would. Most of them. 95% of them. 5% of them. So I always say this. Here's a test. Go to his house, do the Robin Givens with the trench coat, see what he does. You don't want to see answers like, nope, I won't do it.
Yeah,
You don't want to test that boundary. You know why? Because you already know the answer.
I would never.
Why would you never?
I don't even. I wouldn't even want to know the answer.
You already know the answer. Why you won't do it? My tightest female friends that come over here bucket naked. I'm like, oh, mine eyes. Oh, that's real. Mine eyes. No, go put some clothes on her for real. But that's the true test of friendship, though. And it's tough because people say men and women can't be friends and blah, blah. Yes, sure they can. There are completely lots of non-sexually related,
Absolutely,
cross-sexual friendships, right? Like, stop that. They're just rare. I'll say that. Any other questions, Lori? I like this. I never get questioned on my shit.
I mean, I have quite a few, but I don't know.
We ain't get shit Saturday. I'm drinking. What else you got?
Well, I
The
mean,
movie, the movie damn near over. We got till at least the movie over. What about you all? If you all had a friend that was Stella, what would the conversation be?
same thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and admit that I was Stella for 2.5 seconds.
You almost cut off Stella. No, I'm kidding.
I did start seeing someone that was 21 when I was about 40.
Really?
Yes,
ooh,
very briefly. Very, very briefly.
You don't have to no qualifications here.
Well, it was just no. This is why I don't. I mean, I couldn't. Continue with it. It didn't feel right. It was not. We were we were discussing
right.
places in life, and what was that?
It didn't feel right.
Well, initially, it did. Yeah, but it really was a situation where like he was a great guy. He was someone that had had a lot of just life experience and experience taking care of himself and living on his own and, having responsibilities. And he felt a little more mature than his age. It felt that way. But at the end of the day, I sort of felt like, I don't know if I want to be his girlfriend or his mother. Like I could see myself starting to move in the direction of wanting to take care of him and do things for him that like a mother would do and provide things for him. And I'm like, this dynamic is not going to work for me. It's just, we were two different people in different places in life. So yeah, it was brief because I had to just make that decision right off the bat. Though this is fun and it feels nice and all, but I already knew that it wasn't something that was sustainable in any way for me.
were you two in similar? I don't know. Your career was probably more established than his at the time, but
Yes.
were you in similar directions or just complete opposite pages?
Not at all. We were in totally different places. He's pursuing a music career and just kind of trying to support that right now. So I know he's still doing that because it was probably about 5 years ago, but it just wasn't, I didn't feel like there was anything about that would equal a good relationship for us.
Well, see, that doesn't even count because with musicians, you have to subtract 10 years, right? How old they are. You subtract 10 from that. So
yeah, and I think it didn't help that, you know, he was 21. My daughter was like 18 or 19 at that time. And it's just like, should be introducing him to my daughter, not dating him. You know,
Yeah.
No, it,
I'm saying that in a good way, by the way, Brian, because musicians just, it's this the lifestyle. It's a very,
yeah.
yeah, it's not a diss. I'm just saying everybody knows.
It didn't sound like not a diss, but okay. Sound like a total diss. Angela, how are you having this conversation? So, Mitch has been in this situation personally.
Mhm.
If you had a friend, they're dating somebody with this significant of an age difference, how do you have this conversation?
First question is, what is my girlfriend's goals? That's very first question. Depending on what they might say, I may not need to ask anything else. Like you said, if it's just, I'm trying to have some fun, I don't have anything else to say then. And then maybe if she wants something more serious and I know, or maybe I know her and she's saying one thing and it's something different, I may probe a little bit more, try to get more information about what the guy is like. Is he really more mature? You know, in general, I've learned that, you know, women are going to do, people, I should say, are going to do whatever they want to do, no matter what advice you give, I feel, you know, maybe that you're in the back of their mind, but they're still, I think, initially going to go with kind of their first thought because they got to feel it out for themselves. I think people do. But that's kind of the route I would take. Get the goals first and then go from there.
Fair enough.
I will say this. So I was actually a recording artist. I don't know if you even knew about that, Brian, but
Oh, I remember.
okay.
I got your whole resume. Don't you worry about it.
No, because a lot of that stuff didn't, you know, it was basically on the West Coast and overseas. I don't even know if it moved across the country.
I'm worldwide, baby. Don't you limit me to Chicago.
So I'm saying I was in music myself. I was a recording artist. I was around people in the industry, and we were all very, you know, young for our ages. So it's just, you know, you're in an environment that just keeps you really young. You know what I mean? And so you're not necessarily at the same maturity level. I'm not speaking. I can't generalize, but I'm just saying. For me personally, I got married young, and we were both in music, and we neither one of us was mature enough or, you know, ready for that level of commitment and responsibility. But I've dated older and I've dated younger, and both were great. But I will say that I was madly in love with the younger guy, and it was so passionate. It was probably the most passionate relationship I've ever had. I would have married him. Um, he was responsible, he was mature, he was a gentleman, he treated me like a queen. I mean, we got along great. We had everything in common. It was wild to have someone younger, not 20 years younger, but, you know, significantly younger, have that much in common with a person. And it was difficult for me to accept it. You know, it was really sort of, you know, how do I explain this? Like, I'm embarrassed, this is weird. But fortunately in LA, especially, it's more acceptable. So we had a great time, and there was some drama involved that I decided I didn't want to be a part of. I'm not going to get into.
Was that age related? To not be into specific?
No, it actually wasn't. It was situational. It was
Okay.
due to circumstances. There was some major drama, and some lies told, actually.
Oh.
Um, but, you know, and yeah, there was a child involved,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
baby mama stuff,
Okay.
uh, which, you know, nothing against baby mamas. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but that particular situation just, to me, needed to come to an end. But I considered a long-term thing with him. So, you know, you know, I think nowadays, do you know what I mean? Just wherever your heart takes you. And if something doesn't work out, it's because there was a lesson in that you were supposed to learn. You know, I don't diss people anymore. No, because with each relationship, uh, there's something that you were supposed to learn. There's some growth that should have happened there.
Great.
Absolutely agree.
You know, and so if it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that anyone's a bad person necessarily, unless it's an abusive situation. But, you know, people are different, and not everybody's meant to be together. But it doesn't mean that one or the other is a bad person. It just means that you guys don't work well as a team, right? But there's something to learn there. And so, I think, Brian, in your situation where you dated the older woman, it was a growth opportunity for you. You learned a lot that you were able to apply in later situations, and eventually in the woman who became your wife, who is now your wife, and who you're meant for. So, I don't judge
That's
people.
what they say.
I don't judge people. I think go with your heart. You know what I mean? Not as much your mind. I think people try to check boxes too often.
Yeah.
And, we're kind of trained to do that sometimes. It's like, you've got to check all these boxes because that's what society dictates. But I think once you step away from that and you realize, screw the boxes, just make sure the foundational things are there. And you're being respected and you're being treated well. And, all of those core things are there. The rest should just be your heart. It should just be passion. It should just be good. Who cares about the age, As long as everyone's legal.
Good caveat.
Yes.
We're not R. Kelly out here. We're not R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Because
everybody, if it's financial, I mean, that's every age, right? Like, people struggle at every age. Someone can be, I don't know, well seasoned in their 40s and lose their job and have an issue. So don't make it financial as much as you should be the core values and foundational stuff and how you're being treated, and then make your decision based on that. Just my 2 cents.
Let me ask this.
Yeah.
I'm about to cut this damn live off. We just about to have a damn conversation.
I know.
Hey y'all, that was another episode. Don't y'all go nowhere. That was another episode of the End Zone Podcast. Me and my girls is about to chat for a little while. It's gonna be a Saturday conversation. Hope you enjoyed it. Stella got a groove back. Next week, I am back with House Party. We're doing House Party next week. We're gonna kid and play it. Gonna have a good time. Talk to you. Oh, and then Wednesday, join me on the What's in It for the Black People Network, where I have 3 married couples, and we're including me and my wife, and we're gonna talk about what makes marriage work and what makes marriage hard. We're gonna have some frank, honest conversations about it. We'll see y'all next week. We'll see you Wednesday. Have a good rest of the weekend. Love you. End Zone Podcast. Talk to you soon. Hold on. Don't y'all go nowhere. We about to get this shit. Don't. We want to start. Yes,